Please like and subscribe to our channel. And press the notification bell. My father has forever been a women's man. You know, the sort of individual who plays with the store clerk and wears a gold watch and chain. I don't have any idea what my mother found in him. She was benevolent and mindful. After I was conceived, she surrendered her vocation as a medical attendant to remain at home with me. She made a ton of penances for us. Dissimilar to my mother, father was egotistical. He burned through the vast majority of his wages on himself, and at times it was difficult for mother to take care of the multitude of bills with what was left. However, she wouldn't make some noise about it. She was excessively scared of contending with my father. He's extremely scary. However, the most obviously terrible thing was that he was transparently undermining her. We as a whole knew it. In some cases he didn't get back home until truly late, if by any means. Furthermore, my mother frequently cried as a result of it. I recollect when I was 9, I became so ill of him, I shouted, "You really want to approach mother with deference?" In any case, he recently shrugged and said, "She gets what she merits." Consistently I make a solid effort to put food on the table. You should be thankful. I believed mother should leave, however, she didn't, so a piece of me faults her for what occurred straight away. My father's uncle passed on and left him a huge amount of cash. A good man could utilize it to fabricate a superior life for his family, isn't that so? Not my father. He didn't enlighten us regarding the cash. All things being equal, he told mother he was leaving her and left with only a little sack of things. I surmise he figured he didn't require his stuff, since he could purchase everything new. Mother was totally crushed. I'd never heard anybody cry so hard. I ran over and embraced her, saying, "Don't stress, mother. You actually have me." However, after they split up, she turned out to be exceptionally discouraged. She needed to get another line of work, yet it had been excessive since a long time ago she'd left nursing, so she turned into a clerk. She was unable to bear to pay the lease on our home, so mother and I moved into a studio loft and rested on sleeping cushions on the floor. We lived like this for north of a year, and I felt so terrible for my mother. Father didn't attempt to reach out to us. I was 13 when I was at the shopping center and saw my father once more. He was with a young lady who was perhaps 20 or something like that. I was disturbed. Had father separated from mother to date this young lady? I followed them back to their vehicle, however, it wasn't simply any vehicle yet a spick and span BMW X5. How did father get the cash for it? I realized I needed to find out where he was residing and went to the police. I told them I didn't have the foggiest idea where my dad was, and the following day they gave me his location. I needed to stand up to him and head toward his home. Yet, when I arrived, I was excessively terrified to ring the chime. All things considered, I sneaked in the patio and moved up a tree, where I could see straightforwardly into their family room. They were both in their 20s, while my father was in his mid-50s. I will not carefully describe what I saw, however, one lady was wearing a rabbit outfit, while the other was wearing a school young lady uniform. It was gross. Back home, I didn't know whether I ought to tell my mother, however, I concluded she reserved a privilege to be aware. I enlightened her regarding father's new house, but not the two ladies with him. I didn't want to put her in a bad mood more than needed. Mother said she wouldn't fret. However, I said, perhaps father got all his cash before you separated. Assuming that is the situation, you merit half of it. My mother didn't know, yet I continued to pressure her until she at last employed a legal counselor to figure out what was happening. It required a couple of months for the legal counselor to gain admittance to my father's bank exchanges. However, when he did, we found my father had acquired that cash 7 days before he told mother he needed a separation. I abhorred him like never before. The courts figured out his uncle had left my father $2 million and granted a portion of it to my mother. Notwithstanding, father had previously spent over a fourth of his legacy, so after he paid to mother, he griped he just had $400,000 left. However, my father's indecent. Might you at any point accept, he really came to my mother and asked her for pardoning, said he needed to attempt once more. Yet, this time, even mother had enough, and she advised him to disappear. Life's incredible at this point. We don't need to stress over cash any longer, and my mother even began web-based dating to track down another beau. She enlightened me regarding 2 or 3 her dates, and it seemed like they were a lot more pleasant folks than my father. I'm so glad for my mother for at long last daring to confront him. Please like and subscribe to our channel.